Alright guys, Tim, UTV Outlaws. So, spur of the moment, drove 3 hours one way to get a set of Fox shocks. Just got here, picked them up, still got the ride home. Show you what we got here. Bear with me, the truck's kind of dark, but we got 3.0s, Fox shocks with remote reservoir on the rear, and we got 2 5s. They got Dragonfire springs and crossovers. I might have to change that, but I've been playing with my shocks on my 4-seater, and I'm just trying to, I don't know, get more out of it. And what I have, sorry about the traffic going by, what I have is been doing me just fine since I had them revalved, but I found this deal that I couldn't really pass up. I mean, other than being a little dirty, dude did some short course racing. They've been rebuilt recently. They had the new caps put on the end so you can charge them. I'm gonna put them on the machine, and we'll show you that coming up when I get home, and see how they do. If I gotta change the spring rate, or I might even have my shock guy add a rebound to it so that I can have a high speed and low speed adjustment. Alright guys, so it's the next day. We're at the car wash. I'm going to try to clean these things up a little bit. They're a little bit dirty. In pretty good shape though. Try to set up a little time lapse, see if you guys can see the transformation. Alright guys, so I just washed those shocks. I'm pulling out of there now. It was a little dark in that wash bay. I was trying to show you guys after, and it's too dark. So when I get home in like 5 minutes, I will show you what's going on here. But hopefully this evening, Will's gonna come by and give me a hand installing these bad boys, and maybe even take them out and rip them this weekend. I don't know. It's my anniversary this weekend, so we will find out. Alright guys, so this is after the car wash. The sun might bother you, but it's still got some, I don't know, dirtiness that if I have to change the spring rate, because this one's on a 2-seater, but it is an upgraded spring kit, so I'm hoping I don't have to, but if I do, I'm gonna change it. And then at that point, I'll take it apart and really clean it. But this is just after the car wash. This is the last one that I haven't got cleaned up, because since I got home, I took and cleaned them up a little bit. I'll show you what I got going here. There's the machine. We still got the Walker Evans. The rears have been revalved, and all the other ones have been rebuilt. And those are going to come off. Those are just little 2.0s, and then 2.5s in the rear. It'll make a big difference, I think. But these are the shocks cleaned up after I got a hold of them back here at the house. So really, I just took a little brush and some more awesome and sprayed the threads and stuff and tried to scrub around a little bit, and then you just come back with some SC1. I mean, these suckers look like brand new. There's some nicks and stuff on the on them, but I mean, they are used. They're really hard to find, and they're normally pretty pricey. But here's the other rear, all cleaned up, ready to go. I got one more to do. Like I said, hopefully this evening we can do an install video on it, and it'll be part of this video. So just wanted to give you a little update. Oh, and while I'm at it, so this is a Dragonfire spring kit with Dragonfire crossover rings and a top hat. They're all Dragonfire. And then it's got the SRS updated end caps to where you unscrew these and you can nitrogen charge them, whereas before I believe it was a needle and only certain people could charge them. You'd have to have a needle and inject the nitrogen in there, something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what those caps were. I know it's an upgrade, and so it's already had some money put into these shocks, so I really couldn't pass up the opportunity, because I looked into for some stock shocks for my machine for Fox. I mean, the cheapest I found was $5,000. Those were brand new. So, and there was no way I was going to put $5,000 just into the shocks on this machine when I'll just go buy another machine. So, but here we are with this. Hopefully this setup works out for me. All right, so it's later in the day. Got the shocks cleaned up earlier. Will showed up, so we're going to go ahead and try to get these shocks on here. Normally I would tell you what size them bolts are that are holding the shocks on, but I have aftermarket hardware, so it's not going to be what you have. But we're going to remove the rear shocks, put them on, then go to the front, put the front on, and see how it sits. We might have to change spring rate because this is coming from a two-seater. The guy seems to think that it might work for me, so we're going to put it on here and see how it is. And
yeah, so we might have to adjust the collars on it to make it, you know,
yeah, get ride height and
for a little bit more weight.
If the spring weight's not enough, if it's too bouncy or if it's too stiff or something, we might have to get a new set of springs coming. But that's not a big deal compared to having the shocks. It's totally worth it. Yep. But like I said earlier, I had these rebuilt. They have a trip or two on them, nothing crazy. And then the rear shocks got revalved the week that my machine got rolled. And I put them back on that Friday, and then later that Friday is when it got rolled. So it literally has that weekend on the revalve, and they seemed awesome. So much that I was willing to have them do the front, revalve the front too, because it made a big difference. But I'm probably just going to take these off and sell them, try to sell them, recoup a little bit of money. They're good shocks, and hopefully we're better off with these other ones. But up here, this plastic cover to get the reservoirs in here, you got to pull this bolt here. This cover will come off, and then the reservoirs can mount up here. I'm going to have to move my fire extinguisher, which is not a big deal. That thing's been through 3 Jeeps.
Yeah, because that's going to be where the other resi goes.
And we're still, we're doing shocks now. We're going to do a few other things. This winter, when our trips calm down, is when the new cage is going to go on here. So that's where we're at. But it's getting a new cage. I'm going to get repowder coated, and that'll be a later video though.
All right, so that's Tim on a budget. That's Tim off the budget right there.
That's some serious business there. I mean, Will's got these same shocks with his stock springs. No, he's got RZR tender springs on there. And stock tender springs or RZR tender springs, them shocks, like, you can ride around on like number 1 or number 2, full soft, and that thing rides really good. And his machine only being a 2-seater, and he doesn't really do a lot of bombing, but even the bombing that I've done in his machine through the dunes, or he's done through the dunes, or we've done through the dunes, we ain't ever needed more than 1 or 2.
Yeah, and just a few clicks.
Just a few little clicks. And like we were doing wheelies, we cranked the rears all the way up, and I'm going to tell you right now, it was a Sherman tank coming down the road. It was
yeah.
So, I mean, if you could see the difference, that's a 2.5 rear body. That's a 3.0 rear body.
Mm-hmm.
That's a piggyback reservoir. That's a remote reservoir. Then I just, come with a couple upgrades. Like I said, the Dragonfire rings, the crossover rings, and then the end caps.
Yep.
End caps with the Schrader valves are an upgrade, and they've recently been redone. So hopefully we can put them on here and they do us some good, because this thing.
Yeah, this thing primarily jumps, so he's into the jumping.
I've been kind of limiting myself on what I do because I have not bottomed out my machine jumping yet. I've done some pretty hairy stuff and it has not bottomed out. Maybe I feel like I might need to go a little stiffer, and I'll go out there and I'll give her a click or two and I'll go jump the same thing again and it'll be fine. Where with, like, I know I'm getting to the end of these shocks. Like, I'm not going to be able to do much more.
Yeah. So something else to keep in mind too is those are going to weigh a lot more than the Walker Evans.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, big difference when you pick them up. So unfortunately, I don't have the scale with me today. Otherwise, we'd weigh them for you guys. But I can assure you that there's a big difference. So
it's two-handed on the big ones, and it's one-handed on the little ones. Let's put it that way. It's substantial.
So we'll continue this time lapse, and then we'll start on the front here shortly. Alright, so this is what we got. Shocks are on it. We got the reservoir line run through there, so we're going to have to put that back on. There you go. Fits in there nicely.
Just go in there like that.
Yep, so he took the clamp off, or the fire extinguisher off of this side over here. So another thing we noticed too is these Fox shocks got a lot more clicks to them. So the Walker Evans is
14.
Yeah, 14 I think you said. And then these got like 25. So, I mean, they got a lot more adjustability to them.
Big deal.
Yeah, so.
And we haven't adjusted this preload on these springs, and to be honest, it already looks pretty good. It might be low about a half an inch.
Yeah.
Maybe not even that. Maybe a half an inch in turning. If you measure from the top of the body to the top of the cap to the adjuster, that's probably about a half an inch off or something.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the front on there, kind of take some measurements, and then we'll go ahead and set it to the height that we want. So, but this is what we're doing with the reservoirs up here, and then we'll show you guys the front here in just a minute. All right, what do we got?
Big difference there. big difference.
Got baby canister,
baby
boy
body.
canister. Yeah, big baby body. Yep.
That's a hell of a difference in the. So I tried different springs. You guys seen it in other videos. I haven't really gone into why they're off, but I had shock body rub, and there was a couple other things I didn't like, and so I just pulled them off and returned them. And each machine's different. Maybe they work fine on other machines. That's fine and all. But I hope that the spring rate and the spring kit that's on these Fox work out, because the weight of the rear is on the machine and they look awesome. The springs aren't really sagged out. Now I don't know that how it's going to handle, and whoops and stuff like that. It might be too bouncy, and even though I can turn the shocks up and get rid of that, I don't necessarily know that that's right or wrong. If I put a stiffer spring in there, it might take some of the duty off of the shock.
Yeah, we'll have to give it a testimonial later.
We're gonna have to rip it, but I do know that these Walker shocks have done me great.
Alright, so we got this front all done up. You can see it's a little low, so we're going to have to readjust it later on, but we're going to rock it for now. So it probably needs maybe an inch in the back or maybe a couple inches in the front to get to the height that we normally go at.
So this is full soft in the front.
Yeah, you can see how soft it is. We kind of did this on the rear and we went about 10 clicks, so I don't know if you want to go about 10 clicks with it. And it was a huge difference. You can even just tell bouncing it. 6, okay. So you can even tell a huge difference just bouncing it. There you go. Nice. So another thing too is these straps are the same ones that came off his Walker Evans, his old shock. So we just reused them again. So he'll throw the straps in, you know, to keep everything nice and tight to the shock. But everything worked. So the eyelets are all the same. So if you guys got a Walker Evans RZR and you're looking for a little bit more out of the suspension,
16, 17.
Yep. The older ones are kind of better. Here's the strap on the back here.
We normally had that on the inside, and for some reason with the Walker Evans, we had to put them on the inside, and I didn't like how close it was to the exhaust.
Yeah.
Or at the dunes, I run no clutch cover, so I didn't really like how close it could have got to my primary. So I always added, it comes with little Velcro straps, but I also added zip ties on there to where it could still flex and stuff, but it didn't go out and hit the primary or the exhaust. And now I'll just put my straps back on here, which are tied right here right now, and I'll tie it back here and we're good to go.
Yep.
But other than that, there's no spring sag. I mean, the bottom spring might be enough, and the top spring might just be a little too soft. I don't know until we ride it.
Yeah, we'll give a testimonial on it later for sure.
Yeah, we'll take it for a rip, but I mean, for unbolting it and bolting it back on, pretty good. Make sure you guys go, check out our YouTube videos. If you're watching this from YouTube, go to our Facebook page and check that out. We have Instagram now too. You can check that out, give it a like. If you see our videos, and you like them, comment, share, subscribe. That always helps us out, and we appreciate it. And we'll have more awesome content coming for you soon.
All right, thanks. All right, Will from UTV Outlaws. What do we got going today, Tim?
Just always trying to do big things around here. So, got this package here from Evolution Power Sports. Wonder what's in there. Want to open it up?
Let's take a look. So I've always had really good luck with their product on my machine. Tim tried going with one of the cheaper brands, and he learned his way. And I would say in the last year or so, he's been
getting rid of parts.
Yeah, getting rid of parts from.
I've got a majority of Evo parts on my machine.
Yeah, now you do. Yep.
Now I do, and I think there's only like 2 things left that have to go, and it's might be in the works here real soon. So we got warranty. Change engine oil. Got a gasket. Man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to lift this big thing out of here.